The sun was shining, champagne glasses clinked, and laughter filled the air as friends and family gathered to celebrate Nathan's graduation. Anna stood beside her son, proud tears threatening to fall. But then Benjamin, her husband of 25 years, tapped his glass for attention. His voice rang out, steady and cold. "I'm leaving. Rebecca and I are in love. We're starting a new life together." And worry. "I've already transferred the savings." A hush fell over the crowd. Rebecca smirked beside him, her hand tightly gripping his arm. Nathan stared at his father, stunned. But Anna didn't flinch. She simply set down her glass, reached into her purse, and pulled out a thick envelope. "Funny," she said, her voice calm. "I brought a little something too." The room waited, and Anna smiled, because while Benjamin thought he'd ended their story, she was only just beginning hers. "I'm Anna, financial advisor, wife of 25 years. And the woman Benjamin never saw coming." Ever watch someone try to ruin you without realizing you've already won? Anna met Benjamin in their early 20s, both fresh out of college and full of ambition. He was charming, confident, and already dreaming of starting his own consulting firm. She was steady, thoughtful, and brilliant with numbers. Their connection was instant. Within a few years, they married, bought a modest home in Minneapolis, and started a family. Their son, Nathan, quickly became the center of their world. As Benjamin built his firm, Anna took a job as a financial advisor and eventually became one of the most respected in her field. They weren't extravagant, but they were disciplined. Every dollar accounted for, every investment carefully considered. Their life together was a partnership, planning, and mutual support. For 25 years, Anna believed they had built something unshakable. They shared not just a marriage, but a vision for the future. She handled the budgets, the taxes, the retirement planning. Benjamin focused on growing his client base and traveling for business. When he hired a new assistant, Rebecca, a bright young woman barely out of grad school, Anna didn't think much of it. Benjamin praised Rebecca's efficiency, her energy, how she helped keep things running smoothly. Anna smiled and nodded, pushing aside a flicker of discomfort. After all, her husband was just being professional. Wasn't he? But then the cracks began to show. Benjamin grew distant. He missed dinner more often, claimed last-minute business trips. He stopped asking about her day. His phone was always turned upside down. Still, Anna said nothing. She believed in him, believed in their history, their son, their shared goals. Until she opened their joint account one quiet Thursday and noticed a series of unexpected transactions. A luxury hotel downtown booked every Wednesday night. Dinners at a scuffled restaurants from a boutique she didn't shop at. A charge for a designer necklace from a boutique she didn't. Her stomach tightened. But she didn't confront him. Not yet. She knew better than to go in blind. Instead, Anna became a quiet observer. She pulled transaction records, matched dates with Benjamin's supposed business trips, found airline bookings first class, often for two. Then came the wire transfers, small amounts at first, sent to a new offshore account in the Cayman Islands. Over the course of 6 weeks, the transfers grew bolder. $5,000, 0 cent there. It was meticulous, deliberate. A man with a plan. And Benjamin had made one mistake. He underestimated the woman he married. Anna knew their financial patterns better than anyone. She had personally filed their taxes for the last 15 years. Every red flag lit up like a beacon. She created a separate secure account and began slowly moving the liquid assets into it, legally, transparently, and with documentation. She consulted her lawyer, Patricia, and quietly began preparing a case. And still, she said nothing. She went to work, cooked dinner, sat beside Benjamin as he lied to her face. Because Anna understood something Benjamin didn't. He thought he was orchestrating a brilliant escape, but Anna? She was building a flawless response, strategic, lawful, devastating. She didn't need to shout or cry or accuse. She just needed to wait, watch, and when the moment came, when Benjamin finally revealed his hand, Anna would be ready. Not to react, to win. The first true crack appeared on a Wednesday. Anna was reviewing their monthly statement and noticed a recurring charge from the Marquette Hotel downtown. Always the same day, always the same suite. Benjamin had told her he worked late on Wednesdays to prepare for client meetings, but this wasn't a conference room or business lounge. It was a luxury suite. The room wasn't cheap, and the pattern was unmistakable. Anna dug deeper, cross-referencing charges with his calendar. She found he'd consistently billed clients for off-site strategy sessions on the same nights he stayed at the hotel. She pulled up receipts from meals, always for two, at exclusive restaurants. Then came a jewelry purchase from Tiffany's, a necklace she'd never received. Anna's instincts, honed by years of managing portfolios and protecting clients from fraud, kicked in full force. Next came the airline tickets, booked under a shell company Anna didn't recognize. A quick search revealed a pattern: first-class flights to the Caribbean, paid from their joint account, but listed as business expenses. Anna began documenting everything: screenshots, emails, financial statements. She created a digital archive, secure, backed up, and encrypted. She wasn't just piecing together an affair. She was uncovering a planned disappearance. And then, the wire transfers started. Small amounts sent to an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. It wasn't random. It was structured. Weekly. Increasing. A man setting the stage for a getaway. Anna's final confirmation came from a call with Laura, her longtime friend and a senior HR manager at Benjamin's firm. Laura hesitated before speaking, her voice laced with worry. "Anna, I thought you should know. Rebecca submitted a transfer request. She's requested relocation to Benjamin's new office, in Bermuda." There it was, the final piece. This wasn't just infidelity. It was a premeditated exit strategy. Benjamin had planned to leave, with Rebecca, with their money. But Benjamin hadn't factored in who he was up against. Anna didn't confront him. She didn't scream or cry or tip her hand. Instead, she called Patricia, her attorney. Together, they devised a legal strategy designed to protect Anna and Nathan from every angle. The first step: file the preliminary divorce petition. Quietly. Then, freeze all joint accounts. She ensured every asset Benjamin might try to touch was either secure or monitored. Then she began preparing tax documentation. The offshore transfers, the hidden income, the fabricated deductions. She laid it all out meticulously. She wasn't just reacting to a betrayal. She was preparing for war. Benjamin thought he was clever, discreet, untouchable. But what he didn't realize was that every step he took left a footprint, and Anna knew exactly how to follow them. By the time Benjamin poured that graduation champagne and raised his glass, Anna had already pulled the trigger on every safeguard. He thought he was delivering the twist. But Anna? She had been writing the ending all along. Anna sat alone in her home office, the soft glow of the desk lamp illuminating the growing pile of documents in front of her. What had started as suspicion had now turned into a full-blown investigation. With the precision of a forensic accountant, she categorized every transaction, every screenshot, and every email thread between Benjamin and Rebecca. Their hotel receipts from the Marquette, credit card charges from upscale restaurants, jewelry invoices from Tiffany's, first-class flight itineraries under fake business names. She made copies, flagged dates, and added notes with timestamps. Nothing was left unaccounted for. She transferred all of their shared savings into an account under her name only, legally, of course, because Anna wasn't reckless. She had done her research, cross-sectioned legal advice with her attorney Patricia, and made sure every move was bulletproof. If Benjamin thought he was emptying their accounts for a new life in Bermuda, he was in for a surprise. Next, Anna opened the mortgage documents they'd signed just last month. Benjamin hadn't even glanced at the fine print. He was too busy texting clients to notice the subtle legal change she'd arranged. His signature was right there, beneath the clause that removed him from ownership of the house. She stared at it for a long moment, hers now hers. Solely. Irrevocably. She added those papers to the folder marked Property Assets, right next to a spreadsheet she'd titled Offshore Activity. She'd even dug up Benjamin's Cayman Islands transfers, cross-referencing every dollar moved from their joint account into that hidden offshore slush fund. But Anna had been one step ahead. She'd flagged the transactions and sent them to her accountant and Patricia, who began quietly alerting the IRS. Meanwhile, Benjamin was acting like everything was normal. Or worse, like he'd won. Rebecca had started showing up to the house more frequently, all bright smiles and smug glances, as if she had something to prove. She kept mentioning the weather in Bermuda, or flashing new clothes Anna knew had been paid for with their money. The audacity burned, but Anna never let it show. She just smiled, nodding politely, filing every offense under a mental list labeled Final Straws. She watched as Rebecca celebrated quietly, counting down to the day they would start over. She watched as Benjamin grew bolder, staying out later, carrying himself like a man who believed he'd pulled off the perfect con. But they didn't realize that Anna wasn't just hurt. She wasn't even angry anymore. She was ready. Her folder, now an inch thick, was a complete dossier: financial misconduct, infidelity, asset misappropriation, tax evasion, and professional ethics violations. Everything laid out with receipts, witness statements, and emails, including the one where Benjamin joked about announcing his fresh start at their son's graduation. Anna closed the folder and placed it gently in her leather handbag. She took a slow breath and looked out the window. Benjamin thought he was walking toward freedom. But Anna was walking into battle, with every weapon she needed. The sun cast a golden hue over the outdoor patio as guests clinked champagne glasses, celebrating Nathan's graduation with laughter and toasts. Anna stood beside her son, pride swelling in her chest. For a brief moment, she let herself enjoy it, his accomplishment, their shared journey, the applause echoing in the background. Then Benjamin cleared his throat. He raised his glass, a smirk on his face, and called for everyone's attention. "I have something important to share," he began, his voice polished and theatrical. The buzz of celebration quieted into an uneasy hush. Anna turned toward him, heart steady, face unreadable. "I'm leaving," Benjamin announced. "Rebecca and I are in love. We've decided to start a new life together. Our flight to Bermuda leaves tonight." The crowd froze. Several guests exchanged stunned glances. Rebecca beamed beside him, her hand wrapped possessively around his arm. With a satisfied smirk, she waved 2 first-class plane tickets in the air. Nathan's champagne glass slipped from his fingers and shattered on the ground. "You're doing this now?" he said, voice cracking. "Today?" Benjamin gave him a patronizing look. "I didn't want to lie anymore, son. It's better to be honest." Anna stayed silent, calm, collected. Rebecca leaned closer and added smugly, "We've found the perfect beachfront villa. With your savings." The words hung in the air, venomous and cruel. Friends looked horrified. Family members shifted uncomfortably, unsure whether to intervene or flee. Benjamin turned to Anna with faux sympathy. "I've left you enough to manage a few months," he said. "It's fair." Anna reached for her purse. "Oh, don't worry," she replied sweetly, pulling out a thick manila envelope. "I brought a gift for you too." She stepped forward, handing the envelope to Benjamin. "Consider it your graduation present." He opened it, and his smile evaporated as he scanned the top page, a filed and stamped divorce petition. Behind it were meticulously organized documents, bank statements, offshore wire records, legal notices. "What the hell is this?" he muttered. "Page 3 should be of particular interest," Anna said calmly. Benjamin flipped to it. His face paled as he saw the account balances. 0. Every dollar had been legally transferred. Weeks ago. You emptied them." "I secured them," Anna corrected. "Legally. Weeks before you made your little escape plan, Rebecca stepped forward. That can't be right. What about the Bermuda deposit? Frozen, Anna said, along with every account tied to Benjamin's name, including that fun little Cayman one. Benjamin's hands trembled. You hacked me? No, Anna said, her voice steady. You reused Nathan's birthday as your email password for 20 years. I didn't need to hack anything. Gasps rippled through the gasps. Oh, she added. And Rebecca? I know about your HR transfer request to the Bermuda office. You weren't exactly subtle. Rebecca's confidence faltered. That's not... And Benjamin, Anna continued, cutting her off. I thought you might want to read this. She pulled out one final letter and handed it to him. Benjamin scanned it, and his knees nearly buckled. It was from his company's board of directors. An ethics investigation had been launched into his relationship with a subordinate, citing potential misuse of funds and abuse of power. You went to the board? He whispered. You, Anna said. They came to me. The crowd watched in stunned silence as Benjamin's perfect exit plan disintegrated before their eyes. Nathan stepped beside his mother. You betrayed us, Dad, he said, voice thick with hurt. But she didn't. Benjamin's eyes darted between the pages, Rebecca's face, and the sea of people watching. His empire, his escape, his image, it was all unraveling. Anna didn't flinch. She turned to the crowd, lifted her glass, and smiled. That the drama's out of the way, shall we get back to celebrating Nathan? Rebecca's face turned pale. Benjamin, she whispered, clutching his arm. What is she talking about? What does she mean everything's frozen? Her eyes darted around the crowd as the weight of Anna's revelation sank in. Her smug posture collapsed into panic, her voice now shrill with confusion. Tell me this isn't true. Benjamin's mouth opened and closed, but no words came. His hands shook as he flipped through the papers Anna had handed him. Each page was a dagger: divorce filings, frozen asset confirmations, tax records, evidence of wire fraud. He looked up, his expression a mix of rage and helplessness. You can't do this, he finally muttered. I built this life. I earned every dollar. You mean the money you were quietly funneling into offshore accounts? Anna asked, her voice calm. The same money you thought I wouldn't notice because you assumed I was just your wife and not a licensed financial advisor who's managed multi-million-dollar portfolios. Rebecca backed away, inch by inch, her breath catching. We're supposed to leave tonight. We booked everything. You said it was handled. It's handled, Anna said, turning her gaze toward her. By me. Benjamin tried to stand taller. Anna, let's not do this here. We can talk. Just the two of us. Work something out. Anna tilted her head slightly, expression unreadable. I'm not interested in negotiations. That ship sailed when you booked a one-way flight to Bermuda without me. Nathan stepped forward, jaw clenched, the hurt in his eyes undeniable. You really thought you could betray Mom, rob her blind, and still have her listen to your excuses. His voice grew louder. And you did this on my graduation day. Benjamin reached for his son's arm, desperate. Nathan, please. Nathan yanked away. No, don't touch me, you've done enough. The crowd around them was silent now, no longer confused, only transfixed. Laura, standing at the edge of the group, met Anna's eyes with a proud nod. She, more than anyone, knew this was never meant to be a confrontation. It was a reckoning. Benjamin tried again, his voice lower, more desperate. Anna, come on. You know I've made mistakes. We both have. Let's be adults. We can settle this. I'll sign whatever you want, but we don't have to destroy everything. Anna stepped forward and lowered her voice so only Benjamin could hear. You already destroyed everything the day you thought you could betray me without consequences." Rebecca, trembling now, interrupted. "They can't prove anything about me, can they? I wasn't involved in the finances. I didn't sign anything. That you were involved in an inappropriate workplace relationship that triggered multiple internal complaints," Anna said coolly. The ethics committee had already opened a file. My little nudge just made sure the timing aligned. They've been watching both of you. Rebecca's shoulders sagged. "You planned all of this." Anna replied. "You planned your escape. I just planned for the truth." Benjamin's facade collapsed. The arrogance, the superiority, the confidence, it all vanished. What remained was a man cornered by the consequences of his own choices. 18 months, Anna said clearly enough for everyone to hear. That's how long I'd been gathering evidence. I struggled the first charge, then the second. I strategized. I prepared. Because I knew this day would come. The realization hit Benjamin like a blow. He wasn't the mastermind. He was the fool who'd walked into a courtroom disguised as a graduation party. The guests had become the jury. The evidence had already been submitted. The verdict? Irreversible. Nathan shook his head slowly, tears in his eyes. You chose her. You chose lies. And now, you don't get to ask for sympathy. Benjamin opened his mouth again, but nothing came out. Rebecca turned away, mascara streaking down her face, humiliated and exposed. Anna took a step back, letting the silence settle. Her chin lifted, her eyes steady. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't gloat. Because the power had already shifted, and everyone in that courtyard knew it. Benjamin's downfall was swift and brutal. The very next morning, his company's board of directors held an emergency meeting. The letter Anna had handed him at the graduation party had been just the beginning. The internal ethics complaints, already brewing in the background, erupted into full investigation. The HR department, backed by statements from 3 former assistants, confirmed a pattern of inappropriate behavior. What Benjamin had written off as office gossip was now official testimony. By Monday afternoon, he was escorted out of his firm's downtown Minneapolis office, badge deactivated, email account terminated, title revoked. Rebecca didn't stick around. Word spread quickly through professional circles, and the label of homewrecker followed her like a shadow. She quietly returned to Chicago, moving back in with her parents, while avoiding former colleagues and mutual acquaintances. The beachfront property in Bermuda she'd dreamed about gone, along with her shot at becoming the trophy wife of a high-pronged executive. That future collapsed the moment Anna handed over that manila envelope. Benjamin signed the divorce papers without contest. There were no counteroffers, no conditions, no attempts at reconciliation. After facing public embarrassment, professional exile, and financial devastation, the fight had drained out of him. Anna's lawyer, Patricia, finalized the paperwork with clinical precision. The house was legally Anna's, the joint over to the IRS. Every paper trail Benjamin tried to hide had been discovered and documented. Anna didn't stop there. She filed all the relevant tax documents and financial disclosures with the authorities. She had enough evidence to support investigations into potential tax evasion, fraud, and misappropriation of business funds. It was about punishing Benjamin. It was about making sure he faced real consequences, the kind that didn't disappear after a few weeks of gossip. Nathan, heartbroken but clear-eyed, made his stance known. He declined his father's invitation to talk things through and moved in with Anna temporarily after graduation. He canceled a trip Benjamin had promised him and instead spent time helping his mom with post-divorce arrangements. It wasn't just support, it was loyalty. In every way that mattered, Benjamin had lost his son's respect. Friends and family, many of whom had been stunned by the graduation party's drama, rallied around Anna. The group chat exploded with messages of solidarity, admiration, and disbelief. Laura, the HR friend who helped Anna uncover Rebecca's transfer request, became a regular presence in her life. Colleagues brought flowers, neighbors dropped off casseroles, and even acquaintances sent messages praising her strength. Local blogs picked up the story. It started as a whispered account from someone who'd attended the graduation party, then quickly gained traction. Headlines like "The Graduation Ambush" and "The Financial Advisor Who Outsmarted Her Husband" appeared in Minneapolis social circles. Anna didn't speak to reporters or give interviews. She didn't need to. Her silence became part of the mystique, strong, poised, unshaken. Benjamin, once regarded as a rising star in consulting, became a cautionary tale. No company would touch him. No investors would trust him. His reputation was scorched, his finances under scrutiny, and his social circle all but vanished. The man who once controlled every room he walked into was now reduced to whispers, apologies, and the bitter taste of consequences. Anna, on the other hand, was just getting started. She hadn't just survived, she had risen. With her head held high, she walked forward, not just free from betrayal, but empowered by it. She hadn't just exposed a liar, she'd rewritten her future. Anna didn't just move on, she transformed. With the divorce finalized and Benjamin out of her life, she finally had the freedom to turn her pain into purpose. The first step? Saying yes to Nathan. Her son's new startup needed a financial consultant, and there was no one he trusted more. At first, Anna hesitated. She'd spent her entire career helping others manage their money, always in the background. But this was different. This was personal. And the chance to help her son build something new, that felt right. Word spread quickly in Minneapolis about Anna's financial savvy and how she had masterfully dismantled her cheating husband's entire scheme without ever raising her voice. Small business owners, especially women-led startups, started reaching out for her help. What began as a few consulting calls turned into something bigger. Within months, Anna had launched her own independent financial advisory firm, focused on transparency, empowerment, and independence. But Anna wasn't interested in just crunching numbers. She wanted to make a difference. She partnered with local women's advocacy organizations, volunteering her time to teach workshops on financial literacy and independence. For many of the attendees, Anna wasn't just a guest speaker. She was living proof that strength didn't always come from shouting. Sometimes it came from silence, preparation, and a perfectly timed envelope. She made changes at home, too. The house she once shared with Benjamin became fully hers, not just legally, but emotionally. She redecorated, choosing light open spaces, soft textiles, and bold colors that reflected the peace she'd reclaimed. Her home no longer echoed with the tension of unspoken resentment. It hummed with calm, with freedom. And then she did something she hadn't done in over 2 decades. She traveled solo. No agenda. Just herself, a passport, and an open itinerary. She chose Portugal, a country she and Benjamin had once dreamed of visiting, but never did. Standing on a sunlit balcony in Lisbon, coffee in hand, Anna felt something she hadn't in years. Pure, uncomplicated joy. She journaled every day, documenting not just where she went, but who she was becoming. One afternoon, back in Minneapolis, she received an email that stopped her in her tracks. It was from a woman named Elise, a former colleague of Rebecca's. Elise had watched the graduation ambush unfold online, and had since discovered her own partner had been hiding assets and controlling their finances. "I don't know where else to turn," Elise wrote. "I think I'm where you were. Can you help me?" Anna didn't hesitate. She replied immediately, offering Elise a free session, no strings attached. Because this wasn't just about business anymore. This was personal. Every lie Benjamin told had made her stronger. Every secret she uncovered had sharpened her skill. And now, she could pass that strength on to someone else. Betrayal hadn't broken Anna. It had forged her into a woman who didn't just survive the storm, but learned how to build shelter for others in its wake. 2 weeks after the graduation, Anna sat across from Patricia in her downtown office, reviewing the final settlement papers. Everything was signed. No protest, no negotiation. Benjamin had folded, just as Patricia predicted. His reputation was in tatters, his company gone, his assets frozen or reassigned. Anna glanced at the last page, then slid the papers back across the desk with a quiet saint of completion. Nathan waited outside and stood as she stepped out. "It's done?" he asked. "It's done," she replied, smiling. Together they walked to a nearby restaurant to celebrate. Over dinner, Nathan clinked his glass against hers and said, "Mom, what you did, it was genius." Anna chuckled. "Sometimes the best revenge isn't loud," she said. "It's strategic." The scandal had become local lore. People whispered about the graduation ambush, and Anna's name was always spoken with a mixture of awe and admiration. But Anna didn't tell the story with bitterness. She didn't need to embellish. The facts for themselves. Benjamin hadn't been taken down by drama. He'd been taken down by details, by timing, by underestimating the woman he betrayed. As she sipped her wine, Anna looked around and exhaled. Peace wasn't something you waited for. It was something you claimed. Benjamin had handed her the rope. All she did was tie the knot and walk away.